We're here with Stevens Institute of Technology's head men's volleyball coach, Dan Buehring, and student athletes Connor Feulner and Percy Bickford, following the Ducks' 4-set win, come from behind 4-set win over Wentworth in the NCAA quarterfinals. Coach, an opening statement, please.
I'd really like to give some thank yous I think are really important. For one, we represent Stevens. I want to send a thank you to the University administration, right on down from President Favarden to the VPs to Russ Rogers. The level of support at this campus has been truly incredible. And also the academic programs that are just absolutely incredible. They're delivering amazing results in these guys' lives. It's one of the biggest reasons these guys choose to come to Stevens. I want to say thank you to them for making Stevens such an attractive place for such talented young guys who are so incredible. I also represent this team, and I want to send a really big thank you to you guys. It was like 25 months ago that we were getting swept in the conference semifinals at Stevenson, and I had a few things to say about that, and these guys bought in, and the level of work that they put in, the ownership they took, the authorship that they started writing this story was unbelievable. You guys, unbelievable. To be sitting here and going to the Final Four for the second year in a row after we couldn't make it out of the conference semis is incredible. I want to thank this group for being so dedicated and hardworking. And when you look at this match, I just want to say that, first of all, Wentworth was unbelievable. I mean, they played absolutely career volleyball. They were indefensible at times. And I just want to give a really big shout out to our character, our grit, our persistence, our sheer willpower to just get this thing done, and that we were just like, you know what, we're not going to get stopped. We're going to find a way. This is looking ugly in the second set. We're going to find a way, and I want to thank these guys for buying in and trusting what I had to share as far as a vision for the road forward. And lastly, I think this one's really, really important, is I want to thank your guys' families for raising such incredible young men with such character who are just made of really, really special stuff coming out of homes that are truly extraordinary. And I think those three thank yous are very, very important to lead with.
I don't think we need to talk anymore. I think you said it all. You talked about that second set, right? And let's start there. Kind of a dramatic and crazy way to end that first set was 30-28 and down 15-10 in the second set. What changed?
What changed? Number one, Wentworth was just playing really, really, really well. I thought we were giving them a ton of opportunities. I think these guys would agree with me. They put a lot of pressure on us where we weren't in the moment. We weren't playing our game, and credit to their pressure first. What changed second was, I could see 13-8, the wheels were coming off just a little bit before that 15-10 moment, and I just felt like, they're not seeing it from one another, if you don't mind my imposing myself, but I was like, I don't know that they're looking at each other and seeing what they need to see. I'm not certain they're hearing what they need to hear, and I just leaned in and said, guys, we're going to do this. Look each other in the eyes, believe in your stuff, you are that good, and we're just going to close this gap one point at a time, one little moment at a time, one after another, and it's a series of little single-point games. And if we can just live in each moment and live that, what happened next was a 17-6 run. So, that's an interesting stat, but what's a lot more interesting and a lot cooler is the character, persistence, and grit that I'm talking about, the homes they come from, the institution they're attracted to, and that we get to represent this place and our families is just an ineffable honor. And so that's why I kind of want to circle back to those three thank yous. And just, guys, what you did was unbelievable today. It was really not looking good there for a minute.
You're making our job as interviewers very simple, because we'll talk about that next set. One of the most impressive single set performances in any postseason match that I've ever seen. 18-0-26, 692 hitting percentage in that third set. What was clicking? And feel free, Percy, feel free, Connor, to jump in on that as well. What was clicking, and how were you able to essentially assert your will as you wanted to at the point of attack?
If I can just lead by saying, Wentworth let off the gas pedal a little bit, and we are just that good. And I'm curious how these guys explain that, because I'd love to see this from here on out. We've got a tough Messiah team ahead of us, I understand, but what is that explanation, guys?
Honestly, I think our defense looked really good in that third. We were slowing down a lot more balls. Phillip was a monster in middle back. And when we see those big plays on defense happen, it's I don't know, I feel like we have so much confidence going back the other way, putting balls down.
Yeah, I agree. I also give major props to Loudon. We've all improved over the course of the season, but I think he just got exponentially better over this past month. And I don't think I could even complain about a set that I got in that set in particular.
Team hit 400. Speaking of Loudon Moran, 56 assists in a 4-set match. How do you, as a player now, take that success that y'all had today and carry it with you next week against a team that you're seeing for the third time?
I mean, we've prepared for the NCAA tournament and also the MAC tournament all season, and also all last season, you know, and you could say the season before. But I think we got a little stressed out in the first set. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on us, but if anything, this game is just a reminder that we really got to trust ourselves and all the preparation that we put in. I just think we can do great things in this next game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. We need to trust our stuff. Like we know what got us here, and it's going to get us to the championship.
Yeah, and if I may, when you look at that moment where it was really pretty hairy there for a second, it's just like as much pressure as they put on us, I know we are better than that, and it's just performance is in the moment, and I just think that like we're a lot better team for having been pushed the way we were by Wentworth, and I can't thank Wentworth enough for bringing that level of play. So I'm feeling pretty good about the experience we just had, and I think experience is something you just can't teach. I think we got a really, really healthy, powerful experience that I think we're going to grow a lot from.
Coach, we'll take a question over here.
Connor, you mentioned the defensive level stepping up in set 3, but I really think we saw it down that stretch in set 2 during that long run that Coach Buehring mentioned. What were some tactical adjustments that you guys made? Because as a blocking group, it's more than fair to say you're among the nation's best, if not the nation's best, and that Wentworth offense was giving you guys fits. So what changed from the front line to create some of those opportunities for your group defensively?
I mean, honestly, not too many adjustments. We felt like we were getting a little too wide on our blocks sometimes, so we were just making sure our guys were blocking angle, getting in front of LeBeau. If he gets a high ball, he's going to hit over a lot of us. It's not really much we can do about it, but we can stop the other guys, and that's what we try to do.
And Percy, you're talking about the consistency of your squad, especially from setter Loud Moran. There were probably 5 or 6 times tonight on tonight's broadcast where I just found myself mentioning your volleyball IQ with such heady plays. Is it reading the situation, or are you going into the matchups with an idea of what you want to do with the ball, or are you going to chalk it up to sheer luck?
I practice a lot of the stuff that I do in games. Sometimes when we get too stressed out in matches and in practice, Dan just reminds us to have fun, and sometimes I'll just think I can make a play, and I'll try and make it. I used to play a lot of beach too, so hopefully you can see some of that also. We just try to enjoy it as much as we can, even when it gets stressful.
It was said to me on press row that one of the key X factors in the match, and Percy kind of touched on it as well, was kind of Phil Bone, and kind of the energy that he seemed to bring to the court when he came on, and how everybody kind of fed on that. Conversely, the loudest person on the sidelines was Nathan Lancia, who Phil Bone came on for.
Yeah.
How much is that a true statement that Phil did bring a high level of energy, and how did you guys feed off that?
You could tell he used to play football, I'm sure.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I like the comment you made about Nathan. It just shows how bought in this team is. Like, everybody's happy to see everybody play, and everybody's going to cheer for whoever's on the court, no matter what.
Yeah, and I gotta say, as a coach, frankly, we just set the expectation that, like, hey, you got to be ready to go. Like, our intent is to be 18 versus 7, or how many ever they're willing to put on the court. I guess they did put more on the court, but at the end of the day, like, we look at it as an 18 versus 7, and I knew that Phil had it in him to go out there and play an incredible match. I knew we had a absolute warrior on the sideline who was totally determined to eye the tiger, ready to go. And here's the deal: Nathan's the same guy. He just expresses differently, but he's really made of very similar stuff. And those guys are a dynamic duo, and I didn't hesitate to put Nathan in. He made some huge plays down the stretch in set 4 that, if I'm not mistaken, if he didn't slow down LeBeau in row 1, we might be sitting in the middle of a 5th set right now. So I just cannot say enough about this team, their character, how tight-knit they are. And we were determined. I won't lie, there's a moment in the second set where I was like, you know what? We might lose this. I am not certain we will win. However, I did know we would not get pulled apart as a team for 1 second. I knew we would fight every inch of the way, and I'm not surprised with the outcome, but I'm mostly just like, wow, Wentworth really gave it to us. They were incredible. So, that depth was huge for us, and Phil's a special guy, so is Nathan.
And Coach, I'll close with this one. You talked about depth. It would be egregious of us to not talk about Tyler Hoke. First year, national quarterfinal, 8 kills, 4 blocks. How great is it to have a first year play to that level in this moment?
It's incredible. Hoke, what do you say about Hoke? One, that Hoke doesn't speak. And he's just incredible. He just keeps it so simple. He's so effective. He's really gifted, and he works his butt off. And he's just a really diligent worker. I feel like there's not a moment where I don't see that guy like focused and just like, oh, well, I'm gonna get a little bit better right now then. And so coach said something, I'll work on that. And you could just see him just slowly going like this all year long. It's I don't know what to say about the guy. He's truly extraordinary. He expresses himself in the most unique way, which is just, he's clearly brilliant, but he just keeps it super simple. He's soft-spoken, but boy, oh boy, did his game spoke loud today.
Percy, coach just did a player impersonation. Do you have a good coach impersonation?
Oh my gosh, do it. Come on. It's in there.
Maybe if you call me on another night, I don't think I would.
Connor.
Just the vein, probably.
The little vein. The vein gets going when I get fired up. Don't make me do a Percy impersonation. I don't like.
Well, if you put down what was that, 17 kills, I think you'd be okay with those too, right?
Yeah,
I
I would.
guess so.
I would.
Congratulations on a great match. Good luck next week.
Thank you.